on, guys? Black Scout Survival 8 Night Live. Thanks for tuning in. Let's start off tonight talking about how a trans barista at Starbucks goes ballistic on a customer for misgendering him. Let me show you the video real quick, and we'll discuss afterwards.
Ever call me transphobic? Ever? You do not know me.
You're being transphobic, Karen. Now get out.
Call me transphobic.
You are transphobic. Now get out.
I want a refund.
You're not having one. Go to the police. Hi, get out.
Absolutely.
You are trespassing now.
They've got cameras.
You are trespassing.
They've
Get
got
out.
cameras.
Get out. You are trespassing.
Apparently, we said something transphobic.
You actually, you back.
You want something? Give me the phone. You want something? Give me the phone. Let go of me. Give me the phone. I've got plenty of witnesses. Give me the phone. I said, let go of me. Give me the phone.
Just go for the police and get out.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's because I'm from the country, but you come try to snatch my phone, you're getting your behind whipped. I think a lot of people think, Jack, you're a Christian though, man. You can't be talking about whipping people's behind. Well, the thing is don't make the mistake of a man's love for the Lord for weakness, right? Don't ever mistake that, because I'll lay a mother sucker out, right? And so anyway, you have the freedom to do as you please here in the United States, but the problem is that that's not what they want. They don't want just the freedom to do what they want. They want to force you to be complicit in their ideologies, to praise their ideologies, to celebrate them, and freedom doesn't mean, this is what they don't get, is that freedom doesn't mean that I have to agree with you. I have to sign off on whatever your beliefs are. I don't have to. I can hate them, right? That you're free to do it. Don't mean I have to agree with it. You start your free will. And, this is where eye-opening of citizens should really happen. The common everyday citizen, the people that don't pay attention to the politics or the woke agendas or anything like that. This is where you should really wake up, because it's not about freedom. You have the freedom to do what you want, but you're trying to force these things, trying to, but don't let the system bully you. Don't let them bully your belief system. It's yours. It's your freedom to have your belief system. And some people may not like the fact that in America that, we're gun owners, right? That we own firearms, but you don't have to like it. It's called freedom. I'm not asking you to like the fact that I have firearms or you have firearms or whatever. But again, that's not that's not what they're doing. This is not just here. It's not just an America pressed agenda. As you're seeing, these people had accents or from, it sounds like Britain. So it's not just America, guys. A lot of people are saying, it's America, this and that. No, it's global. This is a global thing. And if you remember, we did an interview with Navy SEAL Joel Lambert. He was on a TV show, Manhunt, Hunted, these sort of things. And he was the first person like 3 years ago that told me that. He said, Jack, you got to look globally, dude. This is happening all over the world. Because at the first I was like, the right and left paradigm. He said, look globally, dude. And, this is where the boys in the comments are always like, well, we got to water the tree, and stuff like that. When we're going to take our country back, but the thing is, that should have happened 60 years ago when Kennedy got killed. The battle has been fought for decades on their side, and everyone just sat there like statues on the sidelines. There are bigger players in this game than just Democrats or liberals or leftists. They're just pawns to this. Okay, it's not the country. It's not a right or left paradigm, or red or blue. This is a battle of good and evil, and the Bible tells us this. It's going to get much worse before it gets better. And I just say, buckle up, get ready for the ride. But don't worry. I'm not going to sit here like a sitting duck. In a few weeks, I'm going to release some groundbreaking opportunities to a select few of you, and that are ready to act on it. And it will provide a solution for shelter. It'll provide a lifetime of clean organic food and water, community, and security. So we'll discuss that in a few weeks. And so I'm just not sitting here. You're like, what are you going to do? Trust me, I'm doing something. Don't worry. And you can be part of it if you want. Bear Wilkie, thanks, brother. Anyway, and also we're doing something with the tribe. We're networking people across the country, across the globe. We have people networking in part of the tribe in other parts of the world, because this is a global thing. Understand, this isn't an America thing. You just heard that. That lady was not in America. This has happened globally, guys. There's bigger players. You hear the BlackRock, the Vanguards, the Bilderbergs, Translational Commissions. You hear all these things. Right? There are big players in this game. So you don't even really know who the enemy is. So what would you even do? I did see an interesting article here yesterday by the Washington Post. Why non-white people might advocate for white supremacy. It's wild. Who is this guy? Philip Bump. Yeah, he looks like a bump, doesn't he? Anyway, so basically, my brothers and sisters of various ethnic backgrounds, if you're not into the wokeism, they're going to say that you're a white supremacist now, right? So just be aware. If you're not falling and heel step line with these folks, they're going to call you a white supremacist, no matter what color your skin is. You know what I mean? So just be aware. It's going to happen. And then CNN comes out and calls Tucker Carlson a right-wing extremist. Right-wing extremist Tucker Carlson will relaunch his platform on Twitter, or program on Twitter, a platform he praised as the only remaining large free speech platform in the world after Fox News fired him last month. So yeah, I mean, CNN is now calling people right-wing extremists. So Tucker is moving to Twitter. He put out a video today saying that, and he basically said that essentially that all media is lies. We knew that, let's just think about that after we just saw calling non-white people white supremacists. I mean, it's all lies anyway. And, I've been saying all week, you've heard me say this, the author of the story can choose who the villain is, right? So we're in a 1984 George Orwellian propaganda campaign, right? Kind of stuff like this has been happening. Propaganda campaigns like this happen throughout history, various parts of the world. Tyrannical groups have used this type of methodology. They've used it, and we've seen the influx of it over the past few years, and you're going to keep seeing it, and they're going to keep painting things. No matter, Yuri Bezmenov said this, you could show someone facts, but they'll believe whatever the propaganda narrative is. So that's how it's going to be. It's kind of like Trump here. New York City jury found Trump, get this, not guilty of rape, but guilty of defaming his accuser for saying that he raped her because he said it was a hoax. So let's process that. So he wasn't found guilty of rape, but because he said this whole time it was a lie, he's now have to pay $5 million to this lady for defamation. And they were saying, Trump was convicted by a jury of his peers despite zero hard evidence. The problem is in New York City, the peers are liberal boomers that just watch The View at 11 a.m. And CNN, and then they'll wash down antidepressants with mimosas. So that's his jury of his peers. He actually posted this on True Social. I have absolutely no idea who this woman is. This verdict is a disgrace, a continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time. But he was called to go up there to testify, but why would he? He doesn't know the lady, never met her, and then they convicted. And then look, I'm sorry, guys, look at this lady next to Trump's wife. I just got to call BS just on this alone, right? I really do. Anyway. That's where we are, man. Author of the story paints the narrative, chooses the villain. Let's talk about the American Tyranny Fuds, or ATF. They actually went and hassled a young man today who makes nylon gear for various military and police agencies. He had purchased an FRT trigger or what you call a force reset trigger, and this product was made by Rare Breed Triggers. I'm sure most of you guys have heard of it if you're into the gun community. And force reset triggers don't require the shooter to pull and then subsequently release the trigger for the second shot fired. So, as the name implied, it forces the reset of the internal trigger assembly. And the ATF calls this a machine gun. I actually pulled an article about that. Are rare breed triggers legal? ATF and machine guns. This is back from January 4th, 2022. So you see rare breed triggers, Orlando-based trigger manufacturers in a fight with Bureau of ATF or American Tyranny FUDs over the legal determination of their trigger. They said the FRT-15 triggers a machine gun, therefore a highly regulated item under the NFA Act of 1934. And the thing is that they're calling a trigger a machine gun, just like they call it a bump stock a machine gun. But it's crazy. They're not machine guns. It's a trigger. It's a bump stock. But the ATF nailed rare breed triggers, obviously, and I'm sure what they did was confiscate sale orders, because that's what they always do. They try to do that to other folks. If you've been paying attention the past few years with ATF, they'll go pull the purchase logs, the history, and then they'll confiscate the sales orders. They'll show up at these people's houses, right? And so that's what they did. Let's show the video. Let's roll the tape, and I'll let you guys see the American Tyranny FUDs in action.
Yeah. I own the company Moonlight Industries.
Okay.
Oh, really?
So we make like low visibility.
Oh, really?
We specialize in like right now we have a contract with SEAL Team 6 actually.
Okay.
We make their like low visibility MP7 rigs.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Okay.
That's awesome.
I don't know why he said that. First off, we've had contracts with various tier 1 units too, and this is not something you're supposed to broadcast. I'm not sure why he said that. We've sold packages of various things, parts of kits, belts, med kits, escape and evasion equipment, survival kits. We've sold all that stuff to tier 1 units, and it's kind of like you don't tell. That's why you never hear me talking about it. This is something you don't tell people. So I'm not sure why he shared that fact. Maybe he thought he'd get some brownie points or something. I don't know.
Cool. So were you expecting us?
Well, what didn't surprise me when I saw a guy in a plate carrier showing up. So
Well,
got the
we're
Ultima
obviously-
OTBs on. So.
Yeah, no. So the reason why we're here is because I don't know. I'm sure you're aware that just recently the ATF classified the FRTs, the force
Sure.
reset triggers,
Mhm.
as machine guns.
Yeah.
So we are aware that you may have purchased some of these FRTs.
Okay.
So now we are having, like, the whole agency is basically reaching out to these purchasers,
That's incredible. Yeah.
and we have to pick them up. They're
Okay.
illegal.
So I won't be answering any questions.
Yeah, just a routine visit, guys. Or you're not in any trouble. Just hand over your trigger for us. It's no big deal. That's what she's acting like. The freaking ATF is showing up there with freaking plate carriers on. Come on.
Today, I don't have any comments on this subject. I won't be giving you anything.
Okay, so you
Are you refusing to give us the trigger?
I'm not refusing anything. I won't be answering any question.
I'd say, hell yeah, I am.
okay. But okay, so we are aware that you did purchase FRTs. Again, you wouldn't be in trouble if you just gave those up to us, or
Okay.
if you sold them, you can tell me you sold them.
Sure. Okay.
And you're not going to be in trouble for that.
I understand.
So we're just here, honestly, like,
I sold them to an ATF agent. That's what I said.
just to pick them up.
Sure. It's a bigger conversation than what you're having right now. You decide as you go the rules, right?
Again, that's not something I decide.
So that's something he makes a great point here, is that, like, you're supposed to be upholding the Constitution. He doesn't say this in so many words, but he's basically saying that they're supposed to be upholding the Constitution, and then they are being tyrannical, right?
It's not. I know your guys are just here. You guys
I
are
don't
just here.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all.
I understand.
I don't want to be here any more than you want me to be
Sure.
here.
It's the problem is you are the people who go and knock on the doors, right?
Mhm.
So when they make new laws and you break them, or you go against the citizens, because they've spoken what they buy and what they do, the citizens are speaking, but the government is making their decisions on what they think. They're not being servants to the citizens, right?
And all
Right.
we're saying is, we, like you said, you know, we
I mean, in my opinion, I like that he's standing his ground, but I personally think he's just saying too much. To be honest with you, I would not even have this long of a dialogue with him. You know, they would use anything against you, possibly. You know, maybe the next time they come back and do a raid on your house, who knows? I would have just, you know, said, I'm not making a statement, don't want to talk to you, blah, blah, blah.
just here, we are the ones that just come and knock on the door. We just
Sure.
enforce the laws. We don't make the laws. So
Sure, I
you know, I
understand.
hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're not in trouble. I mean,
No,
you
I
didn't buy
understand
them,
that.
you know.
No, I didn't do anything wrong. Exactly. That's
So-
yeah. I love good law-abiding cops who are good people, are doing what they do, and I understand you have families to feed. You're just doing what you're told, so you don't get fired from your job. But
and that's something you need to really think about too, is that like people always do what they're told to do. You can't expect, you know, these folks in uniform to go against their orders. You know, during the Nuremberg trials, there's lots of people that said I was just following orders, right?
there is a problem that exists, and at some point you have to make your decision on which side of the team you're on. So I won't be answering any questions. If I'm not being detained, I'm not under arrest, I'll just be leaving now.
Okay.
I won't be able to help you with what you're trying to find.
So, and just to be clear, so then now you know.
Yeah, I like cat cans right here. His am I free to go? Bye. Am I under arrest? Give my free lawyer. Yeah, no, I don't want war. Yeah, I'm not telling you anything. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I totally agree with the guy saying, but I do think he's talking a little too much. I wouldn't even have said this much. These people are not your friend. They're not going. You're not going to talk logic into them. You're not going to. If they had the logic, they wouldn't even be doing what they were doing. Me personally, let me just say that if I was in the ATF, right, and all of a sudden I got orders to go do something that I believe that was against the Constitution, and I swore an oath to this Constitution, there's just no way I could do it. I'd have to quit. You know, a lot of police officers did that during 2020. I'd have to leave. This is something I can't take part in, right? I don't want to just be. My answer is I just followed orders, right? Because the more and more this type of stuff is happening, the more and more it will happen, the more and more tyrannical it will get. And I wouldn't want to be part of it.
That if you were to be in possession of these FRGs, then you would be basically breaking the law.
The ATF claims that they're making rules, but there's been no vote. There's been no congressional hearing that says you have the law. You don't make law, right?
I don't.
Yeah, the ATF doesn't make law.
Again,
No.
Again, but
I don't want. Listen, right now I seem like a huge dick. Like I'm like fuck you guys, but I really don't feel that way at all. I just can't, in good faith, when I make the gear for every high-end special operations unit in America right now. That's all I do. That's all I do is support these freedom fighters. A lot of law enforcement SWAT guys. I can't take part in an overstep past the line that says this is or is not legal. Just because you have a badge, you can still do crimes, right?
Right.
So if the American people feel like the ATF is committing crimes right now, I can't help you. I'm sorry. I just can't.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I appreciate your time.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, again, you know, this is the thing. Like we have the ATF going to people's homes for triggers, right? And we have criminals crossing the border every day, no problem. You get what I'm saying? So what I was talking about earlier about the common citizen that maybe hasn't awakened yet, like, why are you not looking at these things? We have the ATF going. We have real criminals out there, like real bad people out there. And they're going to the regular Joe's house, working man. He's got his own company. He's making nylon gear for various military and police units. And he is being harassed by ATF agents. That's how the tax dollars are being spent. Meanwhile, again, we have criminals pushing fentanyl through the border. We have criminals killing people. You go to Chicago. I mean, people are getting killed every weekend. And nobody blinks an eye about it, you know. So this is where, like, if you have not awakened to this, because I know some people that are leftists are still following me, but you have to see the hypocrisy here, guys. Especially they're calling a trigger a machine gun. And it doesn't even operate like a machine gun. You have to actually pull the trigger. Um, I mean, I think to a certain extent he handled himself well. Obviously, I think he said a little bit too much. You know, anytime you're talking to lawyers, law enforcement, judges, or anything, the less is more. Remember that less is more. Don't say anything you don't have to. Plead the fifth. Don't say anything. No reason to, right? Let your attorney talk for you. Don't talk yourself. They'll trick you into saying something. That's why the man asked him, so you're not going to turn in your FRT trigger, because that's he was going to say, no, I'm not. So then immediately he's a criminal. He had been arrested on the spot, right? That's what he would try to trick him into saying. That was a trick. I don't know if anybody caught that, but that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to force him, saying, no, I'm not going to give you my trigger. So then immediately in that moment he answered that, he's getting arrested. You know, but the ATF, they're making rules, right? And they're trying to enforce them like laws. And this is all under the Biden regime. It's funny. So let me, Anarchy Tattoo, thanks, man. It was, brother. It was a purge. I want to say that I was looking at the testosterone studies in PubMed, NIH. You remember those people? National Institute of Health. They did studies on it that it does so well for performance enhancement, muscle building in clinical trials. Well, they want to ban it like anabolic steroids. Anything that works, no matter if it's organic or not, they want to ban it. And Biden, I don't know if you know this, but it was Biden's law that pushed in the early 90s for the steroids and hormones ban. That was Joe Biden that did that. This is the most tyrannical guy in the history of the United States, right? He's a puppet to a certain extent, but this man has been taking and chipping away at freedom his entire career. He is one of the most evil men. Like he makes Obama look like a decent guy. That's how bad Joe Biden is. Make no mistake. This dude's always been evil. Bear Wilkie, look at the sheriffs in Washington standing up for the people. Thanks, brother. And Push Drew, thank you. Yeah, I mean, the ATF have been. In the DOJ, I mean, the FBI, we just talked about last night how Hunter Biden has informants. He's a criminal. He's a freaking, he's running a global money laundering business, you know, from what we've heard. He's got criminal ties to the Chinese Communist Party. Nothing's happened to him. He's walking around free. We're paying his what is his house? How much was it? $50,000 a month. We're paying for that. He's getting full-time security. Biden actually had that upped because of these things that's been going on. So we have all this stuff, all these criminals that are walking around free, and they're going to go harass people like this guy for a freaking trigger. It's George Orwell in 1984, guys. Hey, Haywen Thief, I guess that's your name, Thef. Welcome to the tribe. Go join the tribe and get to know like-minded people, network. You never know when it's going to be too late, guys. Obviously, like we always say, you need to know people. And I think the moral of this video tonight is one, don't be bullied by the agenda. The agenda is global. It's not just here. It's everywhere. I get emails from guys across the water, across the pond every day saying the same thing is happening here, right? That's why you've seen last year the shakeup of prime ministers, prime ministers stepping down. There's been complete shakeups, right? Look at the media now. I mean, they're stirring. It's so much going on, and it's on fast forward. Like, I mean, in my mind, like, I don't think any of us, if we go back 3 years, have ever seen movements like this ever towards tyranny. I don't think we've ever seen that. This is on fast forward. Jack, shout out all the trolls in the chat. Trolls are people that hate themselves. You know what I mean? And this is the thing, like I said the other day, is that trolls, haters, all these people, these are people that, you know, you don't worry about them. just outperform them. And whenever they look around and they see where you're at and where they're at, they have nothing else to say. And they know that you won and they lost. That's how it is, right? South America, yep, absolutely. Terrible things going on down there. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you leave a comment for me, please. Help the algorithm. You guys have done great this week, helping me with that, man. It's been terrible. And the people that are commenting in this chat, please go leave a comment and like and all those sort of things. But anyhow, guys, let me know your comments, your thoughts on it. And as always, remember to stay frosty, strapped, and dangerous. And don't let them bully you. Don't bend a knee. Take care.